What's up, y'all, man? I want to talk about young Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's a some people going around saying that he's possibly can be the next GOAT. I know I listened to Fox Sports Radio yesterday with Chris Broussard, and he said that he think Patrick Mahomes will surpass Tom Brady, Joe Montana and those guys, and he thinks he's gonna be the next GOAT. Shannon Sharp said he's on a nice trajectory. He got a good base. He got a good start of possibly being the next GOAT. And my thing is this. Yes, Patrick Mahomes is very talented. We can all see the man can throw. He can make all the passes, all the throws. Very strong arm. Very, you know, very mature for his his beginning of his career. He was able to sit for a year, you know what I'm saying, and he was able to learn. Andy Reid is a great offensive mind, really great head coach on the offensive side. And Patrick Mahomes does have a nice trajectory. Now, for us to try to say maybe he's going to be the GOAT and surpass Joe Montana and possibly Tom Brady, it's too many variables, man. We talking about football. Now, Chris Broussard said he reminded him of when Michael Jordan, the impact that Michael Jordan made when he first came to the league, and and how people seen that Michael Jordan was going to be the next great. Now, and see, unlike basketball, and it still took Michael Jordan 7 years to win a title, 91 when he finally beat the Lakers. When he beat the Lakers and won his first title. And see, like basketball, you can put three really good players around Michael Jordan and the Scottie Pippen or Horace Grant, players of that ilk, and have a great coach like Phil Jackson and a great defensive mind coach like Tex Winter, and you can win, an NBA championship with less variables than football. See, football, like I always say, it takes 11 guys for one play to work. It doesn't take all 5 guys in basketball for one play to work. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be hard to try to visualize that this man can be the next GOAT and, the next GOAT quarterback because of the variables. You have injuries. When you look at Patrick Mahomes and the makeup of the Kansas City Chiefs, they're more of an offensive team. Yes, they have some pieces on defense like the Honey Badger, Clark, that used to play for Seattle. They have some other pieces on that team. It's talk out that they may get Jalen Ramsey. It's not a great defense. And when you look at the quarterbacks that were very successful, see, now we can also go to a Dan Marino or Warren Moon who can make all the throws, very talented. You know what those two guys had in common? And plus, Dan Marino was ahead of Patrick Mahomes' trajectory. Because at this point, Dan Marino had already went to a Super Bowl. Dan Marino was the MVP, just like Patrick Mahomes was the MVP at 23. They both had that, but at this point, Dan Marino had already went to a Super Bowl. So people back then were saying Dan Marino possibly can be the next great quarterback. But Dan Marino went to one Super Bowl and he never went again. You know why? Because Dan Marino didn't have a running game or a defense for a lot of proportion of his career. Warren Moon, great Oilers teams he played on, great offenses. You can go. People think that this our offensive explosion is new. You can go back then to the Houston Oilers and the Buffalo Bills when they were scoring all those, all those points, 30. And that was in a defensive-minded era. And Warren Moon never got to a Super Bowl. Like I said, Dan Marino went to one Super Bowl, never went back. And then if you want to come to recent time, you can look at Aaron Rodgers. Remember when Aaron Rodgers won his first Super Bowl in 2000? Was that 2010 or somewhere up in there? Hasn't been back to a Super Bowl. So because in football, it's so much variables that when you look at a Terry Bradshaw who won 4 Super Bowls with Pittsburgh, guess what he had in common? Guess what he had? The steel curtain. He had a pretty good running game too. That's why he was able to be successful, because you have to look at both sides of the ball when you look, because Patrick Mahomes cannot play defense. As great as he is on offense, he can't play defense. When you look at the Joe Montanas of the world, when he won all those Super Bowls, guess what happened? Joe Montana had Roger Craig at running back. He had great defense. He had Charles Haley and all those defensive players that they had on that team. Go back and look at that San Francisco 49ers era, and you tell me how many guys on that team that were really great defensive players, and you'll see the reason why they won them Super Bowls. Even if you go to Russell Wilson, he won his Super Bowl, got to another one with that great defense. It's always a correlation in football for these quarterbacks. And look at Tom Brady. When Tom Brady first came in the league, he was very fortunate to be with Bill Belichick, who was a great defensive mastermind. And Bill Belichick, who was able to build that roster around, you know what I'm saying, the defensive guys that they had on that, Willie McGinnis, the guys that they had on there, Lloyd Malloy, the guys that they had on that defense that was Richard Seymour. And Tom Brady was able to grow into what he is now today, what we know as Tom Brady being now today. And he was able to be in a great organization. It takes a great organization from personnel to owner to head coach. That's what it takes. I don't think Patrick Mahomes have all those things. Yes, Andy Reid is a great offensive mind. That's not a great defensive team. Andy Reid is not known for having great defenses. He had a pretty good defense in Philadelphia. They went to like 5 or 6 NFC championship games when he had Donovan McNabb. You know what I'm saying? So he was able to do that. He went to a Super Bowl, played the Patriots, but they were not able to get over the hump. So Andy Reid is now known for not being able to get over the hump. As great as he is offensive mind, he has not got over the hump. So, and then when you look at, like I said, Patrick Mahomes, and then, you know what I'm saying, there's injuries in football. Football is so much of a high-impact injury sport that, and look at the kicker for the Bears last year. We don't know, the Bears probably could have went to the Super Bowl. That's a Super Bowl defense. They probably could have went to a Super Bowl. Kicker couldn't make a kick. That's what I'm saying. There's too many variables for people to say, oh, he's going to be the next. He's relying on so many people to have success alone to gel with his success to elevate him to the GOAT status, possibly being a GOAT. So if he was 5 or 6, 7, see, because to me, everybody's so quick to try to crown people. We're not, everybody want to live in a microwave society where quick to say, oh, this guy gonna be that, this guy gonna be that, instead of letting it play out for at least 3 to 4 or 5 years. If Patrick Mahomes is 5 or 6 years in and he got 3 Super Bowl titles, 3 regular season MVPs, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, and he's still throwing for a bunch of touchdowns and a bunch of yards, and you want to say, man, I think he's gonna pass Tom Brady, then I can see it. Not in his second full season, you can say, because he got an MVP. He has not went to a Super Bowl. He's not even on the Dan Marino trajectory, because like I said, Dan Marino went to a Super Bowl. Now for you to say, oh, I'm telling you, Chris Broussard said that he believes that he's going to pass Tom Brady. Shannon Sharp said he's on the trajectory. Now, Shannon Sharp played football. That's why I'm kind of surprised that Shannon Sharp is jumping to it right now, because he understands it's not easy winning a Super Bowl. It's not easy, man. You have to have. I remember when the Bears played the Colts in the Super Bowl. Bears got Super Bowl. That defense was a crazy defense. They were missing Tommy Harris, and they was missing Mike Brown off that defense. Took it down a notch. They're not able to get over the hump versus Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl. So, like I said, injuries come into play. Personnel, you got to have the right. You can't put 2 or 3 people around Patrick Mahomes as far as the team goes, because remember, he can't play defense. So you cannot see, in basketball, you can play both ways. Michael Jordan can play defense just as viciously and have as much impact as he have on the offensive end. So you have to put at least 15 to 20 to 25 players on that, and keep them on that Kansas City Chiefs team to even have, and be able to draft correctly recycle those guys like the Patriots was able to recycle, and how the 49ers was able to recycle, so he can have success and he can maintain that arc. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. You just have to let it play out a little bit more before you can say Patrick Mahomes is going to be the GOAT. Like I said, let the man get 5, 6, 7 years in before you can start making that note. Everybody want to be so far ahead of the curve, like, and then it, you know what I'm saying? If he becomes a GOAT, they can be like, so they can say, oh, I said it in his second year. So if he doesn't and he fall on his face, what you gonna say was, oh man, he was just overrated. I thought he was better than what he was. No, it wasn't the fact that he was overrated. Your opinion was overrated. You tried to jump out there because a lot of people want to be right. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people want to measure once and cut twice instead of measuring twice and cut once. That's what everybody want to do nowadays. I look at it like this. Offensive wise, the Kansas City Chiefs are there. Defensive wise and running game, they're not there. They are just not there. The running game and the defense is not there for me to say Patrick Mahomes in the next 3 to 4, 5, 6, 7 years is going to win 3 Super Bowls. It's just not there. I'm looking at a guy. I know people like, oh, you're crazy. I'm a Bears fan. I'm looking at if Mr. Trubisky play, he don't have to be a top 5 quarterback. He don't even have to be a top 10 quarterback with the defense he has. That defense is a young defense. That defense is going to be good, barring injury, for the next 5 years. He can possibly win more Super Bowls than Patrick Mahomes over the next 5 years and not be as great as Patrick Mahomes. See, that's how crazy football is because of the personnel and the injury factor. You know what I'm saying? And who you have around you, who you have on the other side of the football. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, man, Patrick Mahomes is very talented. I think people are doing a disservice of saying this early he can pass, you know what I'm saying, a Joe Montana or a Tom Brady. You have to have so much work in your favor, man. And like right now, like I said, that defense side of the ball, I'm not there with Kansas City Chiefs. And because they lost a running back last year, I'm not looking. The running game is not there. He can't pass all the time and be successful. The more you put the ball in the air, the more you susceptible to throwing interceptions. The more you susceptible to making bad passes. And another thing with Patrick Mahomes, which I'm kind of unsteady about, he liked to just be he trying to do the spectacular too much. Sometimes the quarterback has to know when to pull back, when to be conservative. It's all right to go out there and sling it when you have to sling it, and you know things are going well, and you can cut up a defense. But you have to know when to be conservative too, when to take the 10-yard, you know what I'm saying, pass, or the 5-yard pass. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, man, it's to me it's very hard to figure out and see if he can be the GOAT only based on these 2 years. I can't do that, man. There's too many variables. Like I said, let me know what y'all think. I'm out.